my name is Elizabeth Polk and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you stopped by and I hope you continue to stick around. But do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It is free and just by subscribing motivates me to put out more and better content each time. In today's video, I'm going to do my very first story time on my channel and tell you about the time that I paid for a date that a young man took me on. Let's just jump right into the video. So in order to protect his identity, I am going to use a fake name. So for the sake of this video, let's call him John. So boom, it was a couple of days before the 4th of July, this past 4th of July. My sister hit me up and was like, sis, I got somebody that want to talk to you. And you know, my single lonely behind was like, who, sis? And she said that she has a friend who has a homeboy, you know, that was looking for somebody to talk to. She told me a little bit about him, that he was 23, he had no kids, what type of work he's done, and you know, said that he was a pretty nice, respectable young man. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm 24, she thought I was 23, that's why she was like, okay, they're the same age. But I typically don't talk to guys my age. I typically talk to older guys like in their 30s, maybe 40s. Don't judge. But I was willing to, you know, give this a chance. So I told her to tell him, I told her to give him my social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. So he sent me a request on Facebook and I added him back. And almost immediately after I added him back, he hit me up, and which was typical. And so he introduced himself. He told me his name. He was like, hey, my name's John. I'm 23. I do this type of work, this and that. So I introduced myself. And y'all, within the first 5 or 6 messages that we exchanged from each other, he hit me up saying, so are we chilling tonight or what? And I'm just like, I didn't know that we were. So my sister told me that he wanted to chill, but of course I don't allow people that I don't know to come to my house. Especially, I'm not gonna have you come to my house and it's my first time meeting you and it's our first date. Like I'm not gonna allow you to come to my house and I'm not gonna come to your house. Like that's just something that I don't do. But my sister told me that he wanted to come over and chill, but she said that she would come over as well, and the friend, well, his homeboy, you know, the friend that asked my sister, you know, to hook her up with somebody would come too. So we would just all be at the house, you know, just kicking, chilling, whatever. And so when I asked him, I was like, okay, so what you want to do? Like, what are you trying to do? So he suggested playing drinking games. And I just think that's inappropriate for a first date, especially the first time you're meeting somebody or being around them, like you guys are playing drinking games. I feel that's something for, you know, really good friends, or, you know, people that are in a relationship, or people that's been knowing each other and been around each other for long periods of time. Like, you don't go to somebody's house that you don't know, you're meeting for the first time, and playing a drinking game. Like, I'm not trying to be drunk, intentionally or not, the first time being around you. And keep in mind, he was in Dallas, Texas. I think he went to like some amusement park, water park or something. So he was trying to chill once he came back. But him and his homeboy, what we're gonna call him? We're gonna call him Ethan. Ethan's gonna be the homeboy name. They went to some water park and they wanted to come and chill when they got back. Now, I stay in Northwest Louisiana. And from where they live and from where I live, it's approximately about an hour drive. And by the time they got back from Dallas, it was like 9, 10 o'clock. By the time they was gonna come back home and shower and come, it was gonna be 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, no, you don't come to somebody's house that late. Like, if we're not already chilling by 9 o'clock, you're not coming over to my house. So I was like, nah, let's just not do this tonight. The next day was the 4th of July. There was something going on in my city that I live. It was a 4th of July patio party. So I told him about that. I was like, hey, you know, that's something we can do. We still had planned for it to kind of be where, you know, we all get together, me, him, my sister, and Ethan. But stuff came up with Ethan, and he was just like, and John was like, okay, well, I would rather us just be along ourselves since it would be our first time meeting, our first day. I'm like, okay, cool. So fast forward, we went to the place and we went there kind of early. It started at 5 and we got there almost around 6 o'clock because we didn't get the chance to get any tickets online because all the tickets were sold out. And the last time I drove by the place, the line was like super long and I didn't want to be waiting a long time to buy tickets. So we got there early thinking the line was going to be long, and it was literally nobody there. So the manager, shout out to him, he let us in actually for a discounted price. He actually let us in for the amount that we were supposed to pay online, because we was going to pay $10 online, but it was $20 at the door, but he let us in for 10. Now, when we went in, I paid for myself. I got my money out. I had a $20 bill. I gave it to the lady and I let her know like I was paying for myself. Now, I was expecting him to be like, no, it's cool. You don't have to pay. I'll pay for you to get in. But he didn't. He didn't say anything. I paid for myself to get in. He paid for himself. We never even had that discussion before. And I was just kind of like, okay, he didn't offer to pay. I mean, it was just $10, which would only been $20 for us both. But I was like, it's cool. I let it slide. So we got there at the place and, you know, we was talking, you know, chopping it up, vibing and everything. And keep in mind, like I said, it was about 6 o'clock. And if you live in Louisiana, especially Northwest Louisiana, it is hot, it is humid. Where we were sitting at, it wasn't much shade at all. And so it was hot outside. So within like an hour and a half of us being there, I was getting thirsty. So I told him, I said, hey, I'm gonna go to the bar and get me a drink. And again, I was expecting him to be like, well, would you like for me to give you the money to get you the drink or whatever? Or, you know, here's my card, you can buy the drink. Nothing. I went to the bar, purchased my drink with my own money, came back and sat down. So by this time, you know, it was getting later in the evening, more people were coming, and there was these two young ladies. They came and they sat at the table that we were at. They asked could they sit, and they were pretty cool. So we was there, you know, just talking and everything. By this time, you know, like I said, more people were coming, and, you know, the event, you know, was really popping off. Like, it was really lit. I really had a good time. And so they had a food truck there, and I really loved the food truck. I've eaten from there before. And I had gotten kind of hungry because I hadn't eaten in hours. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm gonna go to the food truck and give me something to eat. Again, I was expecting him to be like, well, would you like for me to give you some money to get you something to eat? You know, are you good? Nothing. I went to the food truck and purchased my food with my own money. Sorry, y'all, my face is itching. But yes, I went to the food truck and purchased the food with my own money. And then I came back and I still offered him some of my food. So by this time, I was like, okay, I paid for my way to get in, I paid for my drink, and I paid for my food. And the whole time, all you've paid now is the $10 fee to get in. I spent now over $30 on me of my money, and you've only spent $10 on you to get in. So by this time, I'm getting a little annoyed, but I'm playing off, I'm keeping it cool. And so I'm talking more to the two young women that, you know, were sitting with us. Like I said, they were real cool, you know, chilling. We were just vibing and everything. And I was seeing everybody walking around with this particular like mixed daiquiri in this Patron glass bottle. And the girl that was sitting beside me, one of the girls, she had it. So I asked her what it was, and she told me, and I was like, how much was it? And she said it was $16, which I guess isn't really that much because the bottle was like this, and it had, I think, like every flavored daiquiri that they had mixed. So I feel like it was worth it. But I was like, okay, I'm not about to spend this, because that would have made me spend literally almost $50. Like, I had already spent like $31. Plus, if I bought that, that would be $16, which would be $47. That means spend $50. on me on this date that I didn't ask to be here for. So I was like, you know, I was actually hitting around the drink like, oh, that looks really good. I would like, you know, the drink as well. I would like to try it. He's sitting right here. He's listening to the conversation. I was hinting around it. And he didn't want to get up. He didn't want to go and get the drink. Like, first time he went, he came back and he was like, the line was like really long. But keep in mind, he was gone for like over 45 minutes. And we talked about the line was super long, which there was a lot of people there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of people there. But how are you gonna stay in the line for 45 minutes, close to an hour? It probably was longer than that. Like, I was sitting there the whole time, practically by myself. Thankfully, you know, I had those 2 young girls to talk to, but I was practically there by myself. And then you came back with no drink. And so I was like, what's wrong? He was like, they ran out of it. They ran out of the daiquiri mix. I'm like, how are they gonna run out of the daiquiri mix? And I was like, well, why didn't you give me anything else? And the other girl even asked, like, well, why did you get her another drink? And he's gonna tell her, well, she didn't want anything else. I was like, you didn't even ask me. Like, you didn't even text me or call me and ask me, like, hey, they don't have this, but would you like, you know, something else? You just came back empty-handed after leaving me here for almost an hour. And while he was gone as well, his dad, for whatever reason, also came to the place. And he said that he and his dad had gotten into it or something. His dad was getting on his nerves. I don't know. But he said he was pretty PO'd. He had to go to his car. He had to go outside to cool off. So he was gone for probably 15-20 minutes again. He practically left me sitting there by myself the whole time for like an hour while he was at the bar, had to go to the car and cool off and everything. So when he came back, like, I didn't know, but the event actually closed down at 11. Like I said, we was there about 6 o'clock and we stayed till it ended. We was there for like 5 hours. And so towards the end, it was probably like a little after 10 o'clock, I was like, dude, I haven't had anything to drink now in hours. Could you please go get me something to drink? And so he finally got up and went and go get me something to drink. And he came back and he got me a daiquiri. And so then at the end, when the event was over, you know, the food truck was still there. I asked him, I said, hey, I'm kind of hungry. Could you buy me something to eat, you know, so I can have something to eat when I go back home? And he asked me about the amount, like, well, how much was the food? He thought it was like over $20. And I was like, no, like, it's only like $12, $13. And so he ended up buying me some food. But I really don't even count those 2 things because, for one, it was literally at the end, right when the event was over with. And then I basically had to beg him to buy me the drink and to buy me the plate of food. So afterwards, I went home because I was like, I've been out now for like 5-6 hours. I'm over it. There was like other things going on after the patio party. I think something at the club or something, but I was just over it. I was just ready to go home. So I went home, and the next day, oh, I forgot to mention to you guys. So while we was there waiting for my food, I asked him, I was like, hey, you know, how did you enjoy your night? Did you have a good time? And he was like, well, it was okay. It was all right. You don't say that. I was expecting to hear, yeah, I had a great time. You know, I enjoyed spending time with you. I liked your personality. I liked your vibe. Not just, well, it was okay. You know, I really don't get out much. Like, y'all, was over it. So I went home. The next day, he hit me up. And I didn't respond back right then because I was still a little upset about the fact that I basically had to come out of my pocket for practically the entire date. But then I hit him back up later on, and I stopped because it was just 1-2 word conversations, not really from me but from him. So I was like, no. So fast forward to yesterday, which was Sunday, so a week after the 4th of July. my sister hit me up and was like, sis, I was talking to Ethan. Yes, I was talking to Ethan, and he told me to tell you that John was very sorry about the date and that he wants to make it up to you and take you out on another date. Because afterwards, Ethan and my sister were talking, because he asked her, like, so, you know, how does your little sister like the like my bro, you know, how was the day and everything. And for what my sister told me, he basically, John had more to say to his homeboy about the date than to me, because he told his homeboy, he was like, oh, she looked really good. I was like, of course. And he said, like, the place was live and everything. But even when we were talking after the date, the next day after the date, he never mentioned anything about, like, oh yeah, I really had a good time, I hope we can do it again, anything. That's why I cut the conversation short. And so my sister texted me that and said, you know, hey, Ethan was like, he's really sorry about, you know, what happened. I apologize to your sister on behalf of my brother, but he's really sorry about the date. He wants to make it up to you and take you out on another date. So I told my sister to tell him no, because you're a grown man. You have me on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. You're not blocked. I don't have it set up to where you can't message me at all. There's no excuse why you couldn't come to me as a man and own up to your mistakes and apologize on your behalf, not relay the message to me from literally two people. You told your brother, who told my sister, you had to tell me. Like no. I told my sister, I was like, decline the offer. I was like, if he wanted to go on a date with me, he should have been the one to come to me and apologize and be a man and be like, look, I messed up. I'm sorry for what happened. You know, let me make that up to you and take you out on another date. I would have thought about it for a day or two, but depending on the way he would have approached me, I probably would have accepted his offer and we probably would have went on another date, because people make mistakes, and I do believe, you know, majority of people deserve second chances. But by that point, I was just like, no. Whoever asks who out on a date is responsible for paying. Gentlemen, if you are watching this, if you ask a woman out on a date, we are expecting you to cover the expenses of not only your part, but our part as well. Why? Because you asked us on the date, and that's only right. Now, if we asked you out on the date, at least for me, I can't speak for all women, but at least for me, if I ask a man on a date, I'm not only going to pay for my part of the day, but I'm going to pay for his part as well. I just feel like that's how it goes. I just feel like that's how it's supposed to be. Whoever has asked who out on the date is responsible for paying. Because if you ask me out on the date and I have to come up off of my money and cover my own expenses, that is going to be the first and the last day that you will ever have with me. Like, I understand, you know, we're going through some things, not all, but majority. You know, some people have money problems, some people may not just having everything, and I totally understand. But don't ask me out on the day, and when I reach for my wallet to pay for anything, you don't even offer to buy me any. You don't even offer to pay for anything. It's a difference if I'm reaching for my wallet and you be like, you know what, it's cool, you know, I got it, I pay for it, you good, you don't have to spend anything with me. But then I come out and say, you know what, it's fine, you know, I can pay for myself. That's different. But if I'm coming out of my own pocket to pay for something, pay for anything, and you don't even attempt to offer at least once to pay for something, no. The first and the last date that you will ever have with me, enjoy it while you can. Cause no, like I just can't deal with men like that. Like, I love communication. I love honesty. If you ain't got it, it's cool. I mean, I'm in no position to judge anybody based off, you know, finances. It ain't like I'm, you know, balling or I got hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything. And even if I did, I still wouldn't look down on you if you had lesser than me. I'm not the type of person. If you wanted the date to be Dutch, say, look, I may not have to cover both my expenses and yours, Could I pay for my way and you pay for your way? There's only two responses I'm going to give you: yes or no. It's simple. If we're being honest, I didn't have a good time because of him. I had a good time for myself. Like I said, I was there with those two other women who were real cool, and we were just having, a good time, just drinking, vibing, and dancing. I made the most out of the experience for me. I didn't put all of my trust into him, like, oh, I'm trusting him to make this date or to make this night a wonderful experience. Because if I did, I would have been disappointed, which I already was, but I would have been even more disappointed than I already was. For the last thing that date taught me is that you gotta be a boss and have your own money. Cause y'all, imagine if I would have went on the date and I didn't take my card, I didn't take no cash, I didn't take anything. Because again, I'm expecting him to pay for the date and he never even offered. And even then, I still felt bad in the end because I was like, I basically, in a sense, had to beg him to buy my food at the end and to buy my drink. And I'm just the type of person, if I have to beg you, if I have to ask you more than once to do something that you're supposed to do, I'm just gonna do it myself. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time and my energy doing it, because if I have to ask you, I'm gonna get upset, I'm gonna get mad, and no. So thankfully, I took my own money, my own expenses. Well, I took my own money to cover my own expenses, which you have to, ladies. You have to have your own money and take your own money for your date. I think I mentioned this before in one of my videos on my channel. Always take enough money, well, more than enough money to cover your expenses. This generation, women, we have to be bosses. We have to be boss-minded. We have to have our own money, which we do. Shout out to all my independent ladies, but especially in this time, in this day and age and generation, we definitely have to be bosses, because if we depend on men, we're just gonna be disappointed. But that's really the end of the story time. So I haven't talked to him now in like a week. It's Monday now, so it's been over a week since the 4th of July, since the last time I talked to him. I don't plan on talking to him anymore. I don't plan on going on any more dates with him. I don't have any hate or animosity or anything towards him. It is what it is. I wish him the best, but he can't have another date with Elizabeth Polk. So I hope he enjoyed it while it lasted. But that's all for this story time. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, do not forget to give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media accounts to keep up with my life off camera. And make sure that you guys hit that notification bell so you will be the first to be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.